Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Imam Sahib is saying that the blessed month of Ramadan, which is passing by very quickly, it should be remembered that it is a time of doing good and gathering good. In one place in the Holy Quran, we have been told in the Holy Quran that fastabikul khairat, that every person has a goal towards which they work. And for you, your motto and your aim should be to compete with each other in doing good, in good works, exceed with each other in doing good. And this is the subject which Allah has appointed for us in the month of Ramadan. Ramadan is a time of the month of spring in the entire month, and it is a time of the performance of good deeds and exceeding with each other in doing good. And this has been mentioned by the Prophet Islam in these words. And if you listen to this and carefully, and then you can never forget these words. He said that adopt every single path of goodness, because you do not know which of them will lead you to acceptance by Allah. This is such an incredible sentence. It is packed full of advice, and they are incredibly glorious words, and it becomes embedded in one's heart. And this is easy to achieve in the month of Ramadan, because this month is a time of doing good, and salat, fasting itself is a good deed. And then we are able to pray, and we are able to recite the Holy Quran more often than in normal days, and we are able to wish well to people and be sympathetic towards them, and we are supposed to speak the truth while we're fasting. And in the first tradition in this regard, Imam Sahib is saying that my beloved told me 3 things. Imam Sahib is saying that before I tell you about the words of the tradition, I cannot stop myself from expressing how beautiful, what a beautiful manner this was of Abu Dardana. So normally people say that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said this, but he says that my beloved ﷺ instructed me of 3 matters. What a beautiful expression of his love. What are those 3 matters? He said that the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, and he gave me this advice, that until you live, until you die, you should remember 3 things. And he said that I will never forget these, and I will always act upon them. Imam Sahib is saying that this was the style of the companions, that they would hear something and then they would stamp it on their hearts, and then they would act in accordance with it throughout their lives. And this is the same spirit we should also inculcate within us. So whenever we are given some precious advice, we should regard it as being precious, and we should not hear it in one ear and let it go out the other ear. So remember that we have been given 2 ears, and the reason for this is that you should hear advice from the left and from the right, and wherever you hear it from, you should embed it in your heart and then act in accordance with it. Imam Sahib is saying that what a glorious desire he had. He said that until I die, I will not abandon these. So until I have life, I will continue to act on this. And these pieces of advice were that to fast 3 days in a month, and also I should never sleep until I have done my witr prayer. And Imam Sahib is saying that there are 3 matters here. One is to make this one's style, that whether Ramadan is of 30 days or the 20 or 29 days, but if you regard the performance of this instruction to fast 3 days a month at least in other months, then this will be extremely good for you, and your whole life will be filled with good deeds. And also try to pray the prayer of Chasht. This is the also called the prayer of Ishraq, which is often offered after the sun rises, and this is a extra prayer, but it expresses that one desires to offer salat, and he wants to try to attain the nearness of Allah throughout the day. So this was the second piece of advice that Abu Dadana said the Holy Prophet gave him. And then the third thing was that he should not sleep until he has offered his witr prayer. This is also extremely important. Imam Sahib is saying that sometimes it is seen that after the Isha prayer in the mosques and also at home, often it is seen that people don't offer their sunnah prayer. And he said that the 2 rakats of sunnah and the 3 of witr are essential, obligatory after Isha prayer. Without these, the Isha prayer is not accepted, and it is not complete, and therefore it is not accepted to Allah. So if someone thinks that they're going to offer it after the Tahajjud prayer, those people are extremely blessed who are able to wake up for the Tahajjud prayer, and then they first, before they start, they offer their witr prayer, and then they do their tahajjud prayer. And those people who are regular in this, then it is an extreme blessing for that person. And if they are, we should also try to perform this regularly, this tahajjud prayer regularly. But those people who are weak in this, then for them it is essential that they should offer their 2 sunnahs and 3 witr straight after Isha prayer, so that their prayer is completed. Imam Sahib is saying that these seem to be very small matters, but they are very important, and it is a great favor of the companions on us that they heard these and they remembered these blessed words, and then they were collected by others and written in the books of tradition in order to benefit us. And another tradition, Imam Sahib is saying that we should also worth noting is that Hazrat Abu Zar Zanho is said that, and he was addressing this gentleman, and he said, "Oh Abu Zar," and Imam Sahib is saying this is such a great fortune of the companions, that sometimes the Holy Prophet ﷺ, with extreme love and compassion, he would take somebody's name, he would call them by their name, and he would give them some personal advice. Imam Sahib is saying that, of course, and his advice was like precious pearls. So at this occasion, the Holy Prophet ﷺ addressed him and said, "O Abu Zar, you should pray 3 fasts every month, and then you should do this on the 13th and the 14th and the 15th of every month, that is the lunar month." Imam Sahib is saying that this teaches you about the exceeding with each other in doing good deeds. Imam Sahib is saying that if we are given the ability um, to pray to fast, and then while one fasts, we are also given the ability, the capacity to do all the other good deeds as well. Then you wish to continue these blessings throughout on the other days as well. And this tradition tells us that the Holy Prophet ﷺ gave this advice, that if you do this thing that if you do this permanently on a permanent basis, that every single month you keep 3 fasts. And about this, he made it even clearer that if you do this on the 13th, 14th, and 15th of the lunar month, when the moon is full, and then in those 3 days, that is the bright days of the moon, if you pray in those, if you fast in those 3 days, and this is extremely beneficial for you. So this was the style and manner of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and of his companions. And that they said that it is, you can say that they would not let his advice fall on the floor. They would immediately let it fall on their hearts, and then they would follow it. And it is such a great favor of them that they heard these pure words of advice, and they kept it in their hearts, and then they reported them, and now we can benefit from them as well. So if we wish to perform something even better than what we normally perform, that this is one thing that we could do, that we could start fasting 3 days a month. And this is more than what is compulsory for us. And so if we are able to practice this, then it is incredibly advantageous for us. May Allah enable us to remember and act in accordance with these teachings. Ameen summa ameen.